Hello and welcome back to Showtime. It's go time. I'm Josh, the commish, and with me is PJ. What's going on, dude?
What's Yeah, this is last couple of days is champ. So PJ the champion, you could still refer to me as, but
Yeah.
not much. What's going on with you,
So it's the current champion, but not for much longer, like you said. This season's kind of been a whirlwind, up and down season. What's kind of like your biggest surprise, you think, just through the regular season and playoffs?
Um, well, I would say if it was like at the beginning of the year, I thought maybe Kevin would have made the playoffs, but like it was like halfway through, and that was real questionable for me. But the biggest surprise is I would say this championship here. You got two champion virgins and you and Greg going up to go and get your first one, and I don't know. I think that was surprising. I want to think that would come down to you and Greg. Uh,
So here's something interesting. Obviously, I did win a Mickey Mouse ring early on. If
okay.
let's talk about that for a second. So if we're not going to include mine, do we also take away Keevan's Mickey Mouse rings?
Yeah, well, did he win the year right after you?
Yeah,
I think what needs to be established is either what was that, 8 man or was that 10? Because I think that like 12 man should kind of be the threshold of
it was definitely not more than 10. It might have been 8 as well for that league.
yeah. If it was 8, then I don't count it
It
either.
might have
Then
been
then I
10,
really
but
but if it was 10, that's kind of iffy. And early on, it probably wasn't as competitive as it is now. We'll give him a half a ring for that one. Yeah.
so and then you have the one where he cheated and he so lot of
Yeah.
controversy with Keevan, that's for sure. But enough about him and his team that was trash this year. Anybody else you want to talk about really? That before we get into the nuts and bolts of this.
Yeah, I wanna give a shout out to Josh Ho. I think I mean he had a pretty good team last year and they didn't do nothing, but I mean they scored the most points and missed playoffs. But
Yeah.
but this year, man, he put together a pretty good team. And then too, looking at the trophy, he won it not too long ago. A game away from being in it this year. Like I think he's a pretty good competitive player. I'll give him that. But yeah, I just want to give out a shout out to Johnny and Chris. They both made the playoffs too. We thought Johnny was gonna send Josh Ho away, week one of the playoffs, but Josh Ho ended up prevailing in that one. But yeah, it's cool to see the new guys making playoffs. I don't know, man. What about you? You got any
Yeah.
takes on
Yeah, I do. So obviously we had our back and forth this year, and we got to talk about it. I think
it?
I called you Fluke J. I called you Fluke Boy. Fluke. You had a pretty solid season, despite. I think you made some trades, if I'm not mistaken. You kind of got your team turned around from what it was at the start. Is that right?
Yes, and I think that there was some. For the most part, I think I fared well on the trades, but there's a couple I feel I shouldn't do. But that's kind of how it goes, like that one with Greg Buddy for OBJ. He got me there, but that's besides the point. But yeah, I think I had a pretty good year, and despite all the shit that everyone was talking, I won a championship in the league during a real fucked up year last year, COVID. This year was kind of pretty bad too with COVID and
Yeah.
injuries and stuff. I think that, and then too, that's why I've been on your ass about the stats. Like, and I wish that you had the stat sheet printed up. But if you look at my win percentage, I'm 70 something percent in wins. I'm in regular season, I'm leading the league like in percentage wise since I've joined.
So, according to ESPN and who knows how they even track their stats, it has your all time record as 12-13-1.
Yeah, that's really weird
Does that
because
seem weird?
yeah, that's definitely because that's a losing record. And
Yeah.
last year I went 9-4, and then I won the three in the playoffs. So I went 12-4 last year, and then this year I went 9-5. And lost in the playoffs. So like,
What
uh,
One interesting thing, we'll talk. I want to talk a little bit. I guess going through the East Division, you hit on Holdreed. He honestly, I think he's a top three player, even if he doesn't have the accolades kind of recently. But he's always got a good team. He actually scored. It looks like the second most points this year, just behind. Actually, believe it or not, do you know who scored the most points?
No, I don't.
Kevin.
Yeah, that's crazy. That last week in the playoffs probably attributed a
Yeah,
little bit to that.
yeah.
Yeah, he went when it didn't matter most.
Yeah, and it's not like necessarily he had the worst luck because people scored, people had more points scored against them. Like a lot more people were scored against more than Kevin. Kevin actually had one of the lower totals in terms of points against, if that makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
what do you think about Tom's team? Remember he like won week one and everybody was crowning him as the next big thing, and then like he only won like two more
Uh,
games.
yeah, you did too, and I think actually you were the ones. Yeah, I know Kevin was for sure. I think you were in on the Tom bandwagon real early on, but from draft when I seen that he drafted both wide receivers were the Cowboys, and like if
Yeah,
anything happened, and it just was up and down all year, and then with CMC and everything, it was real unfortunate, but to me, it was the two wide receivers from the same team that I was like, there's no way that there's sustainability here
yeah,
for having your two starting positions, you side by side on the field every week. I was like, it just ain't gonna work out. But I don't know. I'm starting to think that that's just the type of player Tom is. I mean, at least since I've been in the league, Tom's been a bum. He's got his
yeah.
championship. But I don't know if that's a fluke or what. Because since I've came in, I've been getting wins. Since I've been in, Tom's been missing the playoffs. Fun fact, Nate been there one time since I've been in the
Wow,
league. So
wow. Yeah, it was pretty bad. And you've been here for a long time too. I mean, two seasons now. So let's talk about now just some guys from the. Oh, let's talk about Tyler Bailey real quick. 5 and 9, kind of just eh. How do you think? What do you think about him?
I think he had a bad year. Came down to the last game of the season if he made playoffs or not. Baz did it for a couple other guys. Johnny ended up prevailing, set his lineup, won it 3 times, and won the spot to make the playoffs. Tyler was in the playoffs last year. I think overall he's a decent team. Shit didn't go his way this year. There's some injuries there, and then just a little bit of how he formatted his team. I think off, but I think he's a player though. He's a decent fringe playoff type player, I would say. Maybe like a Cleveland Browns. They're not going to win it, but they're going to play hard every year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, lately.
Let's talk about Patrick. Let's talk about Patrick Compton. Oh, were you saying something? Because your mic cut. It appears. Okay.
Nah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. I can now. Um, so moving on now to Compton, straight out of Compton. He lost round one to All I Do Is Win. Put up 55 points, which I believe was his season lowest in the playoffs. What do you think about Compton? Is he past his expiration date?
Yeah. If not, he's very close. I don't know about winning again. We got some rising stars, and then depending on what happens this year and this last week in the championship game, who wins here? There could be a debate made. That Compton's kind of that over the hill guy, he's sticking around. He's good, but not good enough. It's like watching Brian Urlacher in 2010. Like, oh, he's a legend,
Yeah.
but he quite ain't got it. No
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And I don't
So
know, because a joke like that in the playoff, and he was talking so much shit to me too. Oh, I put up something like that, 50 points or something.
yeah.
Oh, in the playoffs, and it's like, dude, you did the same thing. But I like Comp. He's a good player, but yeah, it seems like it's just gonna be harder to win championships in the league than it was back when he won his two what you call them, the Mickey Mouse rings back to back.
Yeah. So I need to correct myself. I said Kevin was the highest scoring player. Actually, Greg Buddy changed his name to Kevin Zorns as his team name.
Yeah.
And he's actually the highest. Greg Buddy's the highest scoring team. So.
Yeah, cocksucker.
Uh,
So yeah, speaking of Greg Buddy and you, we're who do you think needs this championship more? Because I've talked shit to you too. You've been in the league a decade and this and that, and
Yeah,
and then Greg was like, Greg ain't really been doing too much. I've been here for 2 years, and then I just hear stories of like Greg is just like
yeah.
just known, for missing playoffs. And then too, his first playoff win came this year. It's like, who does this championship mean more for legacy wise, would you say?
Yeah, I think that for me, based off this ESPN, they just added this feature. I don't know if you can see this or not, but
Yeah.
it actually
Nice.
says I've had since they've started tracking, which was just a few seasons ago. I have two top three finishes. Plus, when I won the Mickey Mouse ring, that's another one. Plus, Kevin beat me when those years he was cheating as well. So I probably have outside of this year, including this year, five top three finishes. I think that Greg. Hasn't won a whole lot. Almost got kicked like week 3 of this year, and for him to go from almost getting kicked to now possibly submitting himself as a legacy member and getting a spot on the Rudy, I think that'd be big for Greg. Because technically, I mean, my name's already on the Rudy, and Greg's isn't, and I think his name needs to be on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that, but I also think in a way that this ring would really solidify you just because you've been in it for so much longer, and that it's just way more competitive now than when you first started. And
Yeah.
that's
Um,
something too that I was going to ask. Like, as a player in the league, like, if we were to have the same competitive level, because you played the whole time from
yeah.
week one to this year, or year one to this year, like how much harder would you say that it is now compared to then?
Um,
Because you might be the champ of both seasons, So like,
yeah.
which one was it like?
I honestly like. I gotta be honest. My take on fantasy football is probably not the same as your guys' is. I think a lot of like a vast majority of it is just kind of luck. Honestly, like I don't scout, I don't practice. I just go in there and draft. Like I know Kevin puts a lot of time into it, watching Todd McShay or whoever else. And I mean, he spends hours into it. And I remember, like, before draft day, he's thinking about it, messaging, sending links. And then he went, what was Kevin's record? 4-10. So to me, it's like you put all that prep in, and then you go 4-10. It seems more like luck. Honestly, I don't think the skill gap's as big of a difference as you would think because the core guys who were in the league at the beginning are still here now. Your Tom Conways, your Kevins, your Brandon Bailey was actually he left the league. Brandon Bailey was our winningest player of all time at Showtime League in terms of
Yeah,
wins. I mean, what we're doing is we're substituting our bottom of the barrel guys. And okay, we added you, and you're better than most, and we added Christian 3 or 4 years ago, and he's better than most. But no offense to Johnny, I don't think he's really proved himself yet. I don't know. I think it's close to the same, maybe a little better, but I don't think it's that big of a jump.
yeah. But it was still wasn't it 8 man initially compared to the 12 man now.
Yeah,
So then there's that talent, and, an extra 60 guys off the board.
yeah. I think that when you look at the 8-man league, you have to have a little bit better compared to 12-man league. You have to have a better understanding of football for 12-man. But at the end of the day, like everybody has the same advantage of it being an 8-man league. Like if we all played an 8-man league, you're going
Yeah.
to benefit from it just as much as I am. I think. I don't know. What do you think?
No, yeah, I definitely do, but I also see the negative side of that though, being on a
Yeah.
12 man league. There's 4 more people hitting the waiver wire ahead of you
Yeah.
potentially every week. So
I
I
do.
just think that it's harder, man. In my opinion.
I do think that a 12-man league is like the a good spot. Some people want to go to
Yeah.
14. What's your thoughts on going to 14?
Well, I was saying something like 14 or 6 man playoffs, or like we should do like a bye week for the number one team in each conference for the playoffs or something. Just because I feel like we got a 12 man league, 8 playoff
Yeah,
spots.
we need
That's
an op- we
75.
get we got it's got to be 6-man playoffs. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or if we're doing 8, give the number one seed in each division a bye week. They ain't playing no one week one, ain't going home week one. They fought for it, they won it, they're the number one seed, and then let the 6 battle it out or something. But
Hmm.
I just think that 8 is too many. 75% of the league, that's too many.
Yeah, I think it needs to be
But
dropped down to 6.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, I think Yeah, yeah.
I got two quick questions for you. One, so what's your future in the Showtime League? Is this your last year? Because for a while your team was named the Last Dance and all this. What's your future?
No, man, I'm just talking shit, just spicing it up. You motherfucker. Actually, speaking of which, you and Greg, you fucks, you shot down my Greg trade. That Greg fucking, we're at the bar drinking. Yeah, buddy, this trade's awesome. We're gonna do it. And then he comes in some bullshit as soon as he leaves the bars and is talking about like I had his phone and I did it, and then admits that it was him and there was all that collusion. So you guys did all that collusion to end up in the championship, baby. So I might just call this year rigged, and we'll see what happens next year. But nah, I'll be back here next year, winning 10 games or so as usual, 10, 11, in between the 9 and 12
Mhm, mhm.
bracket. Yeah, I'm gonna come back strong next year. And I
So
run this division. Even fell off. It's gonna be even worse next year. And Compton, he's getting too old. He can't compete no more. I ain't got nothing but time, baby. Yeah.
so two more questions. Second being Keevan Zorns. We've talked about him a little bit. Obviously, he's been in and out of chat. He's obviously I personally think it's a little bit drama, but a little bit. He's kind of embarrassed to be in chat because his team's 4-10, and come maybe a month before draft day of 2022, he's gonna want to be back in chat. Kind of a restart. Well, what's your thoughts on his situation?
Uh, yeah, I think both you guys are being dramatic. I think you should just add him to chat and
Hmm.
just let that. He kind of apologize. Yeah. Uh,
Well,
sometimes
I recently
like,
told him he didn't even need to apologize, right?
yeah. I would just add him back in and just have
Mm-mm.
him be like, yeah,
No.
what's up?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh. Mm-mm.
But yeah, no, I get it though, man. Because sometimes I'm like these fucking cocksuckers, bro. I can't stand you guys. There's some shit that happened this year, bro, and you guys are just fucking out my ass. Oh, fluke this, fluke that. I fucking get hurt. You guys are talking shit. Oh, PJ Kemp legs and this. Like, dude, I felt like kicking your guys' ass. So I could understand wanting to be out of chat for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, he did. I think his break is well extended though. A week. Okay, I get three
Yeah.
months. Come on, both of you guys just stop being girls.
Yeah.
Add him to chat and him don't leave chat and let's just
Yeah.
fucking move on.
Yeah. I
He
think
got his
that.
ass beat this year. Dude, I was telling him too. I was in his inbox hard when he was going downhill because week 3, dude, I was 0-3, and he was talking shit like, "Oh, you need to win every game here on out." And then
Mhm.
like in a 10-week span, bro, I went like 9-1 or something, and
Yeah.
he was just choking hard. I'm like, dude, you need to win every game,
Yeah.
right back down his ass because I
I
wasn't playing with
I
him.
do think the leaving chat thing, like back in old Showtime days, like that was never a thing, and the trash talk was just as bad, if not worse. Like we've
Yeah,
always had goofy trash talk, but like I think there needs to be some sort of I don't want to say punishment because that sounds too harsh, but some sort of like effect to the like hey okay you left chat like you're gonna have to like come on like if you're gonna like always leave chat as soon as something goes wrong it's just kind of annoying. It's like we're pushing 30 now and leaving chat I think that's a little childish a little bit in most cases.
yeah, I get it. Fuck it. I'll ignore you guys sometimes,
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's what a lot of people do. They're just like, "Oh, fuck it, I'm gonna ignore
Yeah.
chat now."
Yeah.
Happens to everyone, but
So
yeah, I can see that too. But
um one final question I got for you, and then if you have anything, real quick. So I called you a fluke all year. I was really in your ear, and we really probably the best rivalry in Showtime League, I think. Um,
yeah,
and then I beat you. How did that feel? That had to have sucked.
dude, yeah, it sucks, but like, it was like when it had happened, I was like, all right, man. Whoever's like as soon as I got beat, it was like in the playoffs. It was like no matter what, right now is like my restart. Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna come back next year and I'm gonna draft hard. And then it's like exciting too because the champion, as you get the last pick. So it's
yeah,
like, now I'm bumping up for picks. I don't know what Compton's talking about that I'm fucking tanking or something. I think it's like the bottom 4 don't get playoffs, like get it good, and then everyone else is just random or some
yeah.
shit. So yeah, talking about I'm tanking. It's like, dude, like Dalvin Cook was out, like everybody for me was out. Chris Godwin was out. Like, you still want me to compete after my season's over? Like, no, dude, I'm not competing for
Mhm.
eighth place, bro. Like,
Mhm.
I'm out the playoffs. Like, I'm not winning a championship. I'm looking forward to next season. Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's wrong, man. I'm just excited for next year's draft. Yeah, I'm gonna hand the trophy off, hand a ring over to fucking whoever wins it, and and then we're gonna go from there. It's gonna be restarting. I'm gonna be drafting good. I think I put together a real good team.
Yeah.
I had some real good running backs. I gotta give a shout out to them.
Mhm.
It just didn't work out. They weren't as healthy as they should have been. But with
Yeah.
Cook and Kamara on the same team, I was like, man, you can't go wrong. Two top five running backs, and it went wrong. So I don't
Mhm.
know. I'm just gonna rebuild.
Yeah. I thought I screwed up that Swift trade for a minute there, but he got
Yeah,
hurt.
stuff was good. Yeah, he was doing real good, man. And that's something too. I want to give a quick shout out to Kevin. He was talking all that shit about my running backs because he had CEH,
And Zeke.
Ryan, and yeah, and then too, if you look at it like my three running backs versus his three running backs, and mine and James Conner and those two guys I just mentioned versus his three, dude, we've way outperformed them.
Mhm.
There's something too with the James Conner thing. I think I was pissing Tyler off with that trade, and maybe he didn't want to do the trade. But then James Conner started exploding, bro, and going crazy because I offered him James Conner for Madison just to have Devin Cook back up if he ever went down.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, no, no. And like James Conner went off, finished like top five, bro. And
Mhm.
it's like, thank God I didn't do that. And then he ended up dropping Madison. I picked him up anyway, But
Yeah.
yeah, there's shit like that. Like I would have done that trade and not even thought about it. you know, I'd have been
Mhm.
fucked. And I think that's what happened kind of too. I gave away a little too much talent. Just jumped on the trade because I was like positional, like hungry at a position or something,
Mhm.
rather than thinking about like the long term. But I think I had a pretty good season. You guys call it fluke, call it whatever the fuck you want, man. But winning 9 games in a 12-man league, I think that's a pretty good year.
Yeah. PJ, do you have anything else to say? Comments? Because we're at 21 minutes. So if anybody listened this far, I would be impressed.
Yeah, no, just good luck to you guys, man.
So, all right, guys, that is PJ, aka the Fluke. And I am going to be your soon to be champion. But hey, I said it once and I'll say it again. It's not about winning this year, it's all about proving that PJ is a
Yeah,
fluke.
yeah, yeah,
So I did it. See you guys.
yeah. Shut the fuck up.